Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel, and this video is going to be some reading updates, an author event that I went to today, all the details about that, a new favorite book with a review, a little bit of a book haul, what am I currently reading, all of that stuff, kind of similar to the video I posted last week, just kind of updating you guys with some things. So let's get into it. Alright, first and foremost, y'all, the shirt. So this shirt is one actually that will not be in my sweater, what am I saying, sweatshirt, t-shirt collection video that I filmed for Vlogmas, because I got these after. So I have a couple others that you'll see probably in the Vlogmas videos. One says something about Merry Bookmas, and I can't remember what the other one had. It's like a book tree, all that stuff. Like a Christmas tree with books, you know. And this one says, oh, what fun it is to read. We love to see it, right? So I got this at Piper and Ivy, okay? I'll leave it down below. Just a great store, and I learned about them from Lindsay over at Books for Christian Girls. So yeah, they are great. I love their shirts. They have cute book stuff going on right now. Check them out, okay? Anyway, I wanted to get that out the way because I knew somebody was going to ask where you get your shirt, girl. So yeah, love their shop and all their shirts. Great quality, all that good stuff. For this video, I have so many updates. I don't even know where to start. I guess we'll start with the obvious. Is an author event that I went to tonight at our local bookstore. Becca Kinzer was there, and she wrote Dear Henry, Love Edith. And y'all, let's just say this is my review because I absolutely love this book. 5 stars. It's such a cute Christian rom-com. It could easily be a movie. If you love the whole You've Got Mail vibe, this is for you. We love to see it, okay? This is literally one of my new favorite Christian rom-coms of all time. Like, it was the book I needed because your girl finished 7.5 Deaths, Evelyn, Hardcastle. There's smudges on it, ignore. But I've only finished this week, and it took me all week to read it, you know. We'll have some thoughts here on that too. I did like it, but it was like one of those books that you had to take a lot of time with. You couldn't really read other books while you were reading it because there was just so much to it. And when I picked this up right after reading that, y'all, I read this in less than 24 hours. It's Saturday night, and I picked this up yesterday. So at like 3 o'clock, and then I finished it today at like 11 this morning. So yes, it's a quick read. It's cute. It's just got everything you want, honestly, in a cute little rom-com, right? A little bit of faith, all that good stuff. What's this about? Okay, so obviously we've got Henry and Edith, right? And so Edith needs somewhere to stay, and Henry has a place for her to stay. Now, before you go anywhere with that story, they each think each other is an elderly person. So he has like an extra room or something, and their schedules conflict. They're never like there together or anything like that, so they never see each other. So Henry has this extra room available, and so she ends up staying there, and because their schedules conflict so much, like, they end up writing these letters, or notes really, back and forth in the kitchen, right? And he thinks that she is elderly. She thinks that he is elderly. The whole thing, okay? Because their connection together, the person that like helped her get the room, she keeps talking about her Uncle Henry and like how he has some issues with different things and all this stuff. And it makes him, like, everything that's said makes it sound like you assume that he's an elderly man. And same thing with her, all this stuff. The names obviously kind of sound a little bit more on the elderly names that you would typically hear. And there's all these assumptions that go down. And it makes for a really great story because they're writing these notes back together. They don't know each other, who each other is. And what's fun about this is like they each meet for real in town, and he's like, who is this? And she's like, who is that? So it just makes for a cute little story because they end up getting like these crushes on each other, all this stuff. He is currently dating someone, and you know, really the whole he is dating someone thing is like, they each know that like it's not gonna work out. You can tell she's like, look, we just need to, he's about to break up with her, and she's over here like, look, we just need to like take a big break here. I don't even know if we're gonna be doing this anymore, right? And just take some time to think, right? Do we need to break up or get married is what she says. Like his little girlfriend he had. And he knew it wasn't going to go together. So they're not really together, right? They're on this break. They're not really together. He's going to break up with her anyway, whatever. And you can tell that the girl's not interested in him anyway, from what I can see. So don't take that with anything. It is a widow. And that's another reason he thinks that she is elderly, I think, because the talk about her, you know, being a widow, her baking some stuff, and like a cute little recipe that she leaves in the kitchen. I can't remember all this stuff. And there's all these assumptions that she is elderly. So same with him. He's got like a limp where he can't hardly walk, and so they're talking about that. There's all that stuff, right? It just makes people think, okay, they each think that. So, but anyway, like I said, I'm all over the place with this. But she is a widow, and her husband's brother is like really infatuated with her and like wants to be with her, and there's all these ulterior motives with him. He's not a good guy. So there's some stuff with him. He kind of shows up. So it's a little bit of a drama as well with that. Comes in, the real Henry and the real Edith meeting, and they don't realize each other's names for a while. And they end up pretending to date a little bit, right? And there's all this stuff going on. You have a little bit of fake dating. You have them writing letters back and forth. Mistaken identity. It's cute. And the best part about this really is this small town. The small town is almost like a character in itself. You have all these really great side characters fully fleshed out. The small town really reminds you of, like, to me, even though it's set in the Midwest, it really reminds me of like a southern town that I grew up in, because you got all these people with that little gossip and they're like misunderstanding stuff. They're like, wait a minute, are they engaged? And next thing you know, everybody thinks that Henry and Edith are engaged, kind of thing. Like, it's just like that kind of stuff, misunderstandings. It's hilarious. Like all of the, you know, like the pepper chapter. I'm just saying, it's hilarious. There's so much that I laughed about. There's like a reference about milk, the cow, all this stuff. And like, I'm sorry, you know, he's like talking about skim milk, not even skim milk. Like, these characters are hilarious in their little inside jokes. And if you've read it, you know what I'm saying. Like, all the things that just like stood out to me made my day. This book was something I truly needed during this time. I love that the characters are in their 30s. Just had the makings of a good rom-com. So if you like rom-coms, pick this up. It is so cute. All of that said, the author event. Okay, I've just been gushing and fangirling about this book without even telling y'all about the author event. So I went to our local bookstore and she was there, and here's some pictures from the event. And you know, it was so nice to just hear her chatting about her writing process. And you know, she's a nurse, and just getting to see her process through that, and how writing was like her outlet and things, especially during like 2020 and everything that was going down through there. And that was just, it's so nice to see her talk about all of these things in like her in her writing process, and just how much she loved these characters and what characters she most liked and all these different things, and really getting to know her at this book event. And we never have book events, y'all. Like, this is one thing I feel like the Lord this is a blessing from the Lord, because I don't know if I'll ever get to go to anything like this, like out of state, all the big ones that they have. I don't know if I'll get to. It'll probably be a long time. I don't know. It'd be a miracle, because of everything with my son. I don't know if we'll ever make it. And so when I heard that she was going to be here, it just really blessed my soul. And when I got there, there was another girl there that I'm friends with on Facebook. And I was like, girl, I never got to meet her. And I was like, here's a picture. Her name's Hannah. And she was so sweet. And then I met a couple other girls. And one girl named Mallory. They were just so sweet. I was just so full of joy. And I don't have any real friends here, y'all. Like, it just, I was nervous about going by myself, and look at the Lord putting those girls in my path, you know? Like, it just blessed me tremendously. So that's the main thing about this, is like, when you're with your people, these are my people, you know, like, readers are my people. That's one thing Becca was saying. It's like, you know, when she got to some events and stuff, it's like, these are my people. And so when I got there, I was like, these are my people. We love books. We love talking about books. And it was just such a joy to just see that and talk through all the different things that we loved in this book, and other authors that we all enjoy and have common ground about Christian clean authors. Like, oh, my heart was full, and it is full right now. And so, yeah, I highly recommend this author. She is a doll. Her next book comes out. First off, let me say, Amanda. So I had that recent question in one of my tag videos about signed books, and so now I've got to know what I can add to the collection, and it is so Dear Amanda, love, Becca, right? I was like, it took me a second to get that, y'all. I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's like the title. I was having a moment. I was so excited. And then she wrote Loved Meeting You. So yeah, super sweet. And she had some like cute little bookmarks and stuff. So but I want to show y'all her next book coming out. It's in April, okay? This will be on my most anticipated releases for next year. And it is Love in Tandem. Okay, super cute. I will leave it down below if you want to pre-order it. I pre-ordered it tonight, honey. I got it. It's ready. Okay, Baker Book House had it for like 12 bucks. Go get it. Okay, because it sounds so good. And she was telling us also about some of her books. She's going to be having another book come out over the next couple of years, and like a Christmas novella she's working on. Y'all, this is awesome. I was like, yes. So I was so excited about that. And like a little cute little bookmark. Love that. So yeah, it was just a blessing for me, because I'm not someone who gets to like go to these things, and with it only being like 15 minutes away from me, I was like, yes. I was so excited to meet her and just meet these other ladies, and yeah, it was just a blessing. So pick that book up, y'all. Super cute. And we're gonna lead into some other things that I've been reading, and that's 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, y'all. This book, let me just say, it took me a week to read it. I was like it took me a whole week of just this. It was a busy week, so anyway, I wasn't reading a ton, but it's a wild and crazy story. Okay, I'm so glad I pushed through it. It's a secular book, so there are some content warnings I'll talk about a little bit, but it wasn't triggering for me really, but a little bit of mild language and some other things, so I'll mention that more so at the end of this review here. But this book took me through it. Like, what? Just crazy. It's like, it almost feels like a little bit of magical realism in a way. I don't know, for me, because, let me explain. So, I had to sit with this for a little bit every time I was reading it. Like, took notes on the first 8 chapters at least. And when I reread the synopsis in that last reading update video y'all saw, it was like, oh, okay, I see what is happening now. Because if you just dive in and you don't know what's really happening, you're like, what is going on? And so then I read the synopsis, like, oh, okay, I'm here. So basically, Blackheath Manor is our location. You're going to spend every day in the body of a different character, okay? This takes place over the span of like 7-8 days or so. I guess that's why 7.5 deaths. Anyway, so you spend each day occupied in the point of view of a different character. I guess that's the way I say it. How to write it my review. I said, I need to look. It's a repeat the day's events each day, but in the body of somebody else each day. Does that make sense? So like the first day, we're in the body of Sebastian Bell. And then another day, we might be in the butler. And there might be a detective, police officer guy. You know, there might be all these different characters that you inhabit their body. And you're in the point of view of them, okay? And so you see all the events that occur from their point of view as each day goes on. Does that make sense? Okay. So you're trying to like figure out what's up. Okay. So the whole point, because when I first started, I was like, wait a minute, what? It's because like the first 8 chapters or so, you are in the point of view of Sebastian Bell. He has no memory of like who he is and all this stuff. And then we start to see like it's really this guy, Aiden Bishop, and he is inhabiting all of these different characters. It says it in the synopsis, and that's not a spoiler. Okay, this whole story is about how Evelyn Hardcastle is murdered. You have to figure out who killed her and tell the what's his name, the plague doctor. Okay, he's kind of like your host of the whole thing, or your, I don't know what you call it. I don't want to say host, but like, I'm gonna call him a tour guide. That's what I called him in the review. He's kind of like the guy who's like leading you throughout the story of everything, okay? You have to tell him by the end of all this who murdered Evelyn Hardcastle. She will die every day, and you're like trying to figure out who murdered her, and there's all these like side things going on. We're basically at an event, really like a memorial for her brother that passed away many years ago, 19 years ago, and it's like to the day, okay? Her parents have done this as a memorial for her brother 19 years ago, and all these people pretty much are coming in, and there's all these different twists and turns, and you're just trying to figure out how it's all together, and you really got to pay attention to the point of views that you're in at the time. And each day, like I said, from the hosts that you're occupying in the book, you're like, okay, here's his point of view also. So to me, I listened to the audiobook, but I listened very slowly. I took notes. And there is in the front of this like a character listing as well. I had to refer to this a few times here as well. So like who's who and stuff. I actually didn't realize that till my friends were telling me that. And I think I was on chapter 8 by then. So I was like, okay, now I need to look at this, right? There's also like an evil character. They call him the Footman. Honey, I was calling him the Watchman, the Footman. I don't know what was wrong with me. But anyway, the Footman. And he's pretty much trying to kill your host that you're in all the time. So like there's some of that kind of creepy stuff with him is a little bit unsettling as far as like the murder mystery side of things, of content. So I want to mention that if you're a little bit like, ooh, you know, there's like some knife stabbing stuff that's like described a little bit, but it wasn't too much for me. But like, I was a little bit scared, I won't lie, at the end. I was like, oh, I'm scared of this guy. He coming in here. Like I said, we have this plague doctor, and he's like your tour guide, I'll call him. He kind of explains how everything works, how it's set up, etc. Okay? And so that's pretty much the details of the plot and the story and everything I feel like I can tell you with this. It was a bit long for me, so I ended up giving it like 4 stars. It's between a 4 and a 4.5. And let me look at my notes and I'll tell you like the content, because you know, I will say I was very interested in the story. I was so glad I read it. I was giving updates to Holly because I know this is one of Holly's favorite books from Lovely Day with Holly, and I love chatting with her about it. Also chatted with Chrissy and Lindsay Lemus about this, and we had like a little Telegram chat where I was just giving them all my updates, and if I needed help, they was here. So honey, I was glad, because I was like, I need to get this out because I was like, oh, I'm like, am I tracking with this story, you know? And I'm just really glad. This is one of the 23 in 2023 I was supposed to read. So I got like 9 left. I don't know, the hubs, it'd be what it is if I get it done. But again, I'm glad that I pushed through and all that. So content. This is, like I said, a secular book. It has mild language. No F word, but I think there was like the B word, and just random smaller words, okay? So if any language bothers you, I would want to mention that. There are some odd descriptions of the male anatomy that I was like, wait a minute, we don't need this, Stuart. Okay, so that was weird. But it's like when the guy occupies the butler, and he's like looking at his body, and I'm like, dude, we didn't need none of that. So that was weird. So just want to mention that because that was weird. And then there was some discussions of like sexual assault, murder scenes, mentions of suicide. There's some torture stuff mentioned, but not like in detail, but it just said that someone was tortured. Okay. Just mentioning that. Substance abuse. What else? I think that was it. I noticed some of the triggers, but then there's other things in there I didn't remember, so I had looked at some other people's reviews just so I could give you all the context, okay? And you make the decision if this is something you might want to read, but it wasn't too much for me, but again, I want to make sure that I tell you all the content and things so you can make your decision. But I was just very intrigued. I was like, I'm here for this. I need to know. It's definitely one that's like kind of like a hidden gem on the secular side, because it wasn't too explicit, and it was like one of those that you're just really wanting to figure out along the way. It kind of reminds you, some people have said it's like an Agatha Christie vibe in a way, because you're trying to kind of figure out this murder. But to me, it's weird too, because I'm like, you're occupying like each character. Like, it's weird. It's like, is this like magical realism? Is that what they call that? Or is this just like, I don't even know how to explain it. Because you're obviously, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. That's all I can say. So, yeah, 4.5 stars. My end of month wrap up probably ain't gonna be this detailed, because I done gave it all. Okay, so there it is. There is the review, okay? You got it. And then, I don't even know what I'm gonna say in the end of month wrap up, because of, I already kind of told y'all the star ratings on stuff from other books, but we'll be here. We'll be here. So, then, that's kind of all I've read since that last update, y'all. What? And so, what am I currently in the middle of and all that stuff? Right now, I'm still reading Little Women. I am in the middle of chapter 12, so I'm going to try to read 12 and 13 tonight. Okay, I'm slow going with this. So who knows when that vlog will come out. It'll be in December, but it might be one of the later Vlogmas ones, okay? I'm trying to get through it. I'm still reading through Star of Wonder, the Advent Devotional. I think I'm only on like day 5. So, no, I did day 6. Did I? No, I did. Yeah, I did day 6. I need to... No, I didn't. Okay, look at me. I don't even know where I'm at. I need to do day 6. So I've been reading through it, like probably 4 or 5 of these at a time, and then filming clips for the daily Advent stuff in the Vlogmas videos. And thank you for all your feedback on that. So, you know, I've told y'all a couple times, I think, but like the first part of the videos are going to be me reading from that daily Advent book right here. I'll leave it down below if you want to get it, but I'm not reading everything from it, but just like things I take away from it in the devotional portion. And there's a little prayer at the end. So that's what I'm doing there. I'm loving that, by the way. And then you'll cut into like me and Blake opening up some little Advent calendars. He's got some Pokemon stuff, and I have a Harry Potter one. That's what we're doing. It's like 2-3 minutes, okay? The first couple of days take a little bit longer because we're telling y'all about it, but it's literally like maybe the first 6 to 8 minutes is those things. Then it cuts into like the actual content of the video, like Christmas book recs. So, yeah, that's kind of how the setup of the Vlogmas is. And I just wasn't real sure how many of y'all be like, what is this, Amanda? You said Christmas book recs, and now we're in the Devo. But I want to make sure that Jesus is put first in all of my content for Vlogmas, because he's the reason for the season, right, y'all? So he's going to be first, okay? Then some fun with me and Blake, and then to cut into all the things. And I did, if you didn't know, I had a Q&A little, we haven't filmed this yet, so if you still have any questions for the hubs and me, you can let me know down below in this video if you haven't already. But I had some on Instagram, and I had some in the community tab. I'd asked if you had any questions for me and Blake for our hubs and me Q&A for Vlogmas. We have not filmed it. It's probably not going to be this weekend, so probably like Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving weekend. So if y'all want to go ahead, and if you have any other questions for me in the hubs that you've not already asked, I will ask y'all to just leave that down below for me, and I'll make sure to write that down. So just want to mention that as well, because I know sometimes the community tab may not always show to everybody like it should. So what else? I'm just trying to give all the updates in this video, because again, I don't know what I'm going to have out this week because I'm so busy. But I'm trying to do some updates for you guys. I am still reading Joy in Christ's Presence. The live show on Sunday, last Sunday, was so good again. I was just in the chat. Tomorrow on Sunday, I'll be in the chat again. I don't know if I'll finish all the things I'm supposed to read. I finished chapter 8, and I got to get 9, 10, and 11. And the thing about this is I want to like sit with it the best I can. But the girls are doing such a great job. Chrissy, Dia, and Tiffany. I'll leave their 2 live shows already down below if you want to check it back out. But they are doing such a great job, and it's just such a fulfilling discussion on this. Even if you haven't read the book, I think that the discussions, you're getting something out of that from all the chats that they're having back and forth and things that we're saying as well. So, yeah, I just want to mention that. I'm still reading this, okay? Trying to get to the end. And I didn't get to this last time. I was so busy, but I think I focused so much on this Christian nonfiction that I just didn't get here. Felicia Masonheimer, Every Woman a Theologian. I have started this. I finished chapter 1, so love that. And really, this is great so far, you guys. Like, this is for Keisha's book club, the Revive Christian book club that they're having every other month. And this is just so great for especially like introductory theology. You know, theology doesn't have to be just complicated, right? Like, a lot of us think of theology as like this scholarly stuff we got to do as far as like, you know, going to a Bible college or just more of like schooling stuff. But this breaks it down very easy to understand with terms, definitions, things that you may not know. And that's the first introduction to it. Like, you know, what's the gospel, an epistle, the law, the prophecy, you know, how did the Bible become to be? All this stuff, historical context. Very interesting so far. So I'm going to keep reading this throughout this week. I'm going to try to get done with this maybe in the next, at least before the live show that they have scheduled. I don't remember when it is. I think it's toward the end of the month. So I'm definitely going to try to finish that. Just take it as I can. And what else? Oh, I think that's it. I don't know as far as like, I'm going to do a little book haul, but as far as like what I'm reading next, honestly, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do a Christmas book. I might pick some like quick reads, since I've been reading like the same thing I want to get some stuff done pretty quick, some audiobooks, you know. I've had several people ask me how I read so much. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, audio, that's it. Oshina had a really good video recently on audiobooks. I'll link it down below. But that has become a lifeline for me as a busy working mom. Audiobooks. Always listening to something. Like, instead of, let's say, watching TV, I'm listening, because the TV usually has something on. I can't be watching that anyway. My kid, there's just too much. Doing chores around the house, all that stuff. And they have just become a lifeline. And for the most part, like, you know, I do sit down early in the morning or late at night to read, instead of scrolling my phone sometimes. So that helps. That takes extra time. And just making sure that, you know, I'm always got some kind of audiobook on deck, because it's just, I listen at 2 speed, 1.5 to 2 speed. Sometimes it's 2.5. It just depends on how slow the narrator is. But I've gotten used to that, and I think that's just a big part of it for me, is just trying to just consume the content in any way that I can. Ebooks, sometimes I'll scroll an ebook on my phone instead. So I don't know, it just naturally happens, you know. I don't even try to read that much sometimes, and the audiobooks get the books done, you know. And So that really is the biggest help for me. And where do I listen to them? I do have an Audible subscription that I keep canceling, and then sometimes I get it back, so I'll go back and forth with it. But for the most part, I do the library. Libby and Hoopla, amazing. Sometimes Hoopla has like brand new ones too, like new releases. I do have a subscription to Scribd, which is now called Everand. It's like a different brand now, but different name, whatever, they rebranded. And so I think Scribd's going to be more for like documents and stuff. And then they said Everand. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but it's like a green logo now on your phone. But that's going to be more for like the audiobook side. And I've thought about canceling Scribd off and on, but I've kept it, you know. I do have if you want to do a free trial, I do have that down below. I think it's like 2 months free, 1 or 2 months free. I can't remember. Several of y'all have done that. And it's nice to keep it, but sometimes they cut you off after so many. And so what I've done is like, I'll go through and I'll save a bunch. And so sometimes I see that I'm like, okay, I've got a bunch lined up, and it seems to work where I don't have them taken away too much from me. So I don't know what their rhyme or reason is sometimes, but they a lot of times have brand new releases as well on there that can help me read through those as well. So that's what I do for audiobooks. And if it's a classic, sometimes you'll see an audiobook on YouTube. So yeah, and I've seen some authors actually publishing their audiobooks. I think Casey Stockton has, is that her name? Is that right? I think that's right. She has a channel where she has like her audiobooks and stuff that she's been uploading and things like that. So, you know, there's a lot of resources out there. Make sure you use your library, Libby app, Hoopla, if they have it. My library didn't have Hoopla till recently, so that's been a big help as well. There's more than just books on Hoopla as well, but you get like 10 borrows a month at my library. I think some may only have 5 or 8, but either way, that's great, right? So that scrolled off real quick, but just want to mention that because I did have some questions recently about that. And again, don't be in the comparison trap thinking you got to read so much to be a reader. Honey, if you read one book, you're a reader, okay? I just want to mention that because a lot of people have been asking, like, how can I read more, or what's some of your, tips and things like that. And so, yeah, don't feel like you got to be reading as much as anybody else, because literally the audiobooks that I don't know how I get anything done if I didn't have them. So, that's just full transparency on that, okay? Book haul. So, I did get some books from Book Outlet, and I may have done an order today. Anyway, moving on. But they had like $5.99 books. I'm just like, so I got 2 books that I've already read here. I read The Vanishing at Loxby Manor, and Within These Gilded Halls by Abigail Wilson. I really enjoyed both of these when I read them. They are clean fiction. They are published by Thomas Nelson, but keep in mind, Thomas Nelson doesn't always have Christian content in their books, but these are clean. So I don't remember either of these having faith content, but they are clean, and they are just really good Regency stories. Both of them. I will leave the link down below. My reviews for them down below. I read this one a long time ago, so I don't know if I have like a full review on this, but I liked it at the time. I gave it 5 stars at the time. Now, if I read it, it might be more like a 4, but they were both really good, and like the covers are beautiful. A woman turned around. We always say a woman walking away in the historical world, right? But, I mean, super cute. A castle, Regency era, all the things. I've really enjoyed her books. They're always fun. So, yeah, both of those. Abigail Wilson. She's a great clean fiction author. And then I got, I brought this other book out to tell y'all. I got Of Literature and Lattes. Of Literature and Lattes by Katherine Reay. And this is book 2, I want to say, after the Printed Letter Bookshop. Look at me ordering book 2 when I ain't read book 1. So if I don't like book 1, but it's fine. I just ended up grabbing it because it was so cheap. So we'll see. I've already had this. I need to read it. Let me know if you read this one, okay? I think some of y'all liked it. Some of y'all DNF'd it. Some of y'all didn't like it. It just depends. It's been a mixed bag from what I've seen, but I have it. I don't know if I told y'all or not. I got this a while back, but Nicholas Sparks, The Last Song. My girl Sheena talked about this, and I kept meaning to buy it. So, yeah, I did get this. I think I got it on Amazon, but I've never read Nicholas Sparks at all. So, she always talks about how good this one is. I don't even know anything about this. Never seen the movies or nothing. Yep. So, yeah, that's the point. I need to read that. Again, never ending TBR. Then I picked up A Royal Christmas Wedding by Rachel Hawk. I need to figure out how you say her name. Anyway, this right here is, this right here. What am I saying? Okay, anyway, that was a filler word of when you do YouTube. You're like, okay, I don't even know what I'm saying. But I have like these books over here. Y'all can't see them, but How to Catch a Prince, Princess Ever After. I think I've got another one over there on my TBR cart. This is chaos. But this is part of the Royal Wedding series, and it's a little novella. I'm not going to read this time, but I picked it up. It's cheap. What else? Oh, while I was at the bookstore today, Valerie Burns, they told me she was a local author there, and I was like, oh, cool. So, I've already read this book, and I've read book 1. And book 1, and that is 2 parts sugar, 1 part murder. And so book 2, I listened to the audio of it, so I had to pick it up so I could, like, you know, have it together. But murder is a piece of cake. I've been meaning to pick that up. So when I saw it there, I was like, ooh, I can do that and support the local bookstore, right? And that bookstore was so cute, y'all. I got to go back. I gotta go back. I had not been there. There's it's like downtown. I was like, my heart, I'm here. So then I picked up Yours Truly, Thomas by Rachel Fordham. Honey, I've been loving her books, so immediately, yes. Picked it up. Historical romance. We love to see it. Christian romance, yes. She's a great author. And then this one, I think, is book 3. I ended up ordering book 2 on Book Outlet that they had, so I was really glad that that was there. But this is Crosshairs, Patricia Bradley, book 3 in the Natchez Trace Park Rangers series, okay? So, picked it up, and book 1 is called Standoff. So, again, buying a whole trilogy before reading the first one, but I'm unhinged. This is the life of a reader. I did like Patricia Bradley's Counterattack quite a bit. So book 2 comes out in this series next year. That's also an anticipated release. I gotta do my anticipated releases, y'all. I got a whole list. It's wild how many great books are coming out next year. Y'all wait. I'll be doing a video. But I'm talking too fast. I'm sorry. I know a lot of y'all said that. I'm sorry. When I'm passionate about the books, it just comes out. I know some of y'all speed me up, but anyway, I said that in another video coming out soon. But what am I saying? So this will Counterattack. I really enjoyed it. So I feel like I'm gonna like her books. I think these are set in Tennessee. Or maybe they're not this one. The first one is Nashville. So yeah, I don't know. I think that these will be good. Romantic suspense. We love to see it. So we'll just sit that right there waiting for book 2 to come in. Ordered it from Book Outlet. It wasn't on there the other day when I ordered book 3, and then it was. So like, yeah, come back. I think that's it. Yep, that's definitely it now. Woo, this video. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I just wanted to do some updates, talk about Dear Henry, Love Edith mostly, but then just kind of what's been going on. Again, I don't know when I'll have another video out. I'd like to have like a little short video around Thanksgiving, but if I don't, I hope y'all have a very happy Thanksgiving. We are going to my aunt's house in Knoxville. I always love doing that. It's always so much fun. So we're going to have a good time there with family. I just love seeing my cousins and everybody. I don't get to see that often, only a few times a year. So it's just a blessing to do that and take my little boy up there. So we're going to do that and that'll be fun. But hopefully I'll have like a little short something. There was like a Thanksgiving book tag. I know that Tammy at the Protagonist Pub did one, but I had another one I had wrote down as well. So I don't know which one I'll do. I already wrote down the answers for another one, so I'll probably film it. But if I don't get to film it, this is me telling y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. I love y'all so much. It's been busy. Chaos. Wait for December 1st, honey. All the goodness is coming. So I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all.